Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580, your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive.
Hey, yo, D-Smoke. Man, why don't you represent the wood one time? Could you please?
Super good, Smitto, D-S-M-O-K-E, it's official. I got these other in quite a deliver pick up. Cause they want me to pour champagne, drip off the nipples. Get off, kick off the party, lift off the people who kiss up to the establishment. Haven't you seen their ego? Like me, no. I used to do this cause I loved it, busted for freedom. I still do this for the love, but add another zero. A hero in my city, I'm Diddy mixed with Rico. Strong, I throw this at my lady like it's a free throw. Long time, me love you design by heat and struggle with poem rhymes. I bubble, I grind, these motherfuckers ain't never seen nothing like me.
Where your roots run, Smokey talking that where you from. We can do some. Won't keep talking that you just might move some. Apply that pressure, 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 pressure. Apply that pressure, 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 pressure.
Am I wrong for putting this on? You would if you could. In my zone, they leave me alone. I'm good in the wood, great proponent, scent of cologne. My foot on your jug, throwing stones. You never atone. Now look at you.
KBLA Talk 1580. That's your walk-on music, Jarrett Hill. Jarrett Hill, award-winning journalist, fine artist, theologian, and more.
Oh, okay. I don't know about theologian. That's always a little too heavy.
That's a little too much.
I did some religious study. I'll put it that way,
okay.
yes.
And your walk-on music is not at all religious.
Not at all religious. I was like, give me some D-Smoke. I want to come into D-Smoke. Listen, I'm already light-skinned. I can't come into Drake yet. I haven't heard the album. I'm not beating the allegations. So I was like, give me some D-Smoke. I love me some D-Smoke.
Yes, we love D-Smoke around here too. And we love Peak Drake.
Yes.
We're not going to talk about Iceman because you haven't heard it yet.
I haven't heard it yet. I saw him drop 3 albums and I said, it's giving overcompensation. I don't know what we're doing over here, but I will listen to it. I'm excited to see what it is. But like, I do love me some like classic Drake. Give me some Nice for What, some Take Care, some, the era.
Yeah. Peak Drake. I'm through 2 of the 3.
Okay, wait. So what's your vote though? I'll take your opinion.
It's not Peak Drake.
It's not Peak.
That's my. I'm not comparing him to anybody on the West Coast that you may be thinking of.
You're not talking about Kendrick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not really.
No.
No. I mean, I'm a very West Coast centric girly.
Mm-hmm.
I live here, Bay Area, Los Angeles, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about Peak Drake, because I like Drake. Drake to me is like workout music.
Yeah.
Key, as I'm doing my abs or whatever. It's all good. But there's a couple songs on there, but it wasn't.
Yep.
Anyway, have you heard Isaiah Rashad's new one?
Well, so I watch Rap Life Review most weeks, and they've been talking about Isaiah Rashad's album for a couple of weeks now, and I'm saying like I need to check this out. I need to check out Iceman, but like my media consumption over the last few months has been really different than it normally is, where I can normally put on an album and play it and listen to it, or my media consumption with politics and the way that I'm used to watching cable news. It's just feeling different for me right now. I feel like I'm like really protective of myself since
you're protecting your peace.
Yes, absolutely. Since Donald Trump got reelected, I was like, oh, okay, we gonna have to do some different things. I'm gonna have to consume in a different kind of way because I know with the fire hose that is coming.
Yeah, and it is a fire hose.
It's a fire hose.
The zone is officially flooded.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I mean, you know this better than anyone. Like, as a journalist, you feel like you're supposed to know everything. And especially for you, where you're on the air every day for 3 hours. I've come from like doing daily radio or doing cable news or doing digital media and podcasts and all that kind of stuff. And having to stay tapped in has had such an impact on my mental health. And I'm like, I cannot stay hooked into cable news all day in the way that I used to. I used to put on CNN or MSNBC and leave it on all day. Yeah. Right. And then wonder why I felt the way that I felt.
Well, plus they tend to be very repetitive. They have the same guests and the same topic show after show. But I get your point. I usually try to give myself Saturdays as a little vacation from the news.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the days I have to read it and watch it. But I do a lot of reading, partly because I just don't want to hear Trump's voice all day and all night.
I mean, yeah. And to that point, though, reading Trump in text as opposed to listening to him deliver the words that he's saying can sound really, especially if you're reading like a speech. Donald Trump sounds like a maniac when you're just reading the words, and then you listen to him, and sometimes he can sell something with inflection.
Right.
But to your point, like reading him is definitely easier than watching him all the time. Yeah, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
So I have a new podcast, the Jarrett Hill Show, and I'm always asking people, how are you taking care of yourself in the midst of all this? And you said you take your Saturdays, but like, how else does that look for you?
Really not skipping my workouts. Really and I, sometimes I do, but for the most part, I really, I've taken up yoga. Okay. That was something that came in with this new administration.
Okay.
Because I'm a weightlifter. I like to lift weights. I like to run or walk. But I really felt like, okay, we're going to have to do some stress management now, starting January 20th.
Okay.
And I did. I started yoga, and I do about, 30 minutes. No, I'm not some great yogi, but it helps.
Okay. I like that. I love that. It was, I see exactly what this is, and I need to respond in that kind of way. Like, I've been trying to figure out the things for me, because when the change happened, I was in grad school, and then being abroad, kind of watching things happen on sabbatical, and then being back here in Los Angeles. It's been really, really challenging. And I'll tell you, being in Washington, D.C., we do a game show based on our book, Historically Black Phrases Live. We'll be in Boston if there's people in Boston listening. But I was in D.C. and I saw National Guards people walking down the street in formation. And to me, that hit something for me that was like, oh, this is where we're going.
Right.
This is the direction that we're moving in. We're going to have National Guards people walking down our streets sooner than later. Right. I think it's important for people to get that. And when you and I were talking, I was like, I'm feeling energized. I think it's yesterday hearing James Clyburn with Tavis on the show, and seeing the various different things that are happening. We have to recognize, like, it's time to get active because things are moving quickly, and they're not going to. It's not going to be easy, but like, it's time for people to get up and start paying attention and moving. And I'm wondering about what those things are and how we take care of ourselves in the midst of that.
Yeah, I think that's right. The thing that I was stressed out about yesterday is that Trump's approval ratings are in the toilet, but he keeps winning these primaries, right? He keeps being able to primary people that oppose him, the Thomas Masseys of it all. And what I realized doing a slightly deeper dive is that they are spending massive amounts of money. So it's not just the incredible Trump magnetism. It's tens of millions of dollars that they are putting into races to take out people who defy Trump.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think we have to sometimes I appreciate a documentary for putting all of the things about a story in one place so you can see them all together. Yeah. Right. And I'm always thinking about, like, what is the story that we're going to be telling about this moment in the future as we look back at it, right? And saying, like, oh, all of these things were happening at the same time, right? I think about how, if we just take a few of them, right? Before this administration started, the Supreme Court comes in and says the president can do whatever he wants without being prosecuted. Right. We then also have a president who just now, in this week, right, cannot be audited by the IRS. His family has
forever and ever and ever.
His crime family, to be clear, right? His crime family cannot be audited, indicted. They can't be investigated. None of that, right? We also have ICE, which is getting the biggest budget that they've ever had. That is hiring people en masse, right? Not taking them through processes, not onboarding them, not doing all the background checks that they should be. They are the president's military, right? His personal army, exactly. Who just show up at your house and and kick your door in and come get you for whatever reason. We also have a Congress, a government, an administration that does whatever they tell him to do, whatever he tells them to do. Whatever he says to do, they're gonna do. Right. And we see that time and time again. And then we see these redistricting moments that are happening down in the South. Right. And we see California getting ready to possibly have 2 Republican gubernatorial candidates. And we see what the mayor's race here in Los Angeles is looking like. All of these things are happening at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Right. And when we look back at this moment, when we get past this, if we get to this election, right, if they let this election happen, because they don't want to, we're going to look back and say like, oh, wow, all of those things happened at one time. Right. And things changed. And I think it's important for people to see that in this context.
Well, that is one of the reasons why, Jarrett Hill, that I am saying this is a moment to vote strategically. I'm not saying vote your fear. I just don't think it's a good time for a protest vote in the mayor's race or the governor's race. Period. Full stop.
Yeah. I've been having a really difficult time trying to figure out like between candidates. I mean, I feel pretty confident. I feel pretty clear on how I feel about Spencer Pratt, right? Like I feel clear about that.
Not mysterious.
Yes. But like when I'm looking at the wide range of candidates for governor, I was watching the debate that we just saw here from CBS California. I was looking at, I've called one of my family members who used to work with Matt Mahan or used to work in the city of San Jose. And I was like, what do you think about Matt Mahan? I was like, I saw him in the ads. I've seen him in the debate. What do you think? And like, I'm trying to ask people what they think to get a sense of how I'm going to vote. But I agree with you. Like, it is a moment to be really thoughtful about how we're voting because of the times that we're in. It's not just like, oh, skip the primary. Oh, I'm not really paying
and we
attention.
have some great candidates. I mean, Tony Thurmond, Antonio Villaraigosa, Mahan, I know, is, from my Bay Area connections, is funded by the same tech bros that are funding our current president.
Yeah.
So that, for me, is a red flag.
Well, and Matt Mahan also, like, I was asking, like, the person I was talking to was saying to me, like, the dynamics in the city of San Jose are unique and specific, right? And, like, the way that he would apply some of the ideas that he's doing to, various other kinds of cities that don't look like San Jose, right? That don't have the same kinds of resources that you're talking about with the tech bros and that kind of money. Like, how would the things that he wants to do work in other places? And so we were talking about that, and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm leaning in that direction toward Matt Mahan. I'm just getting information. I don't feel like I'm even. I came in the mail. Maxine Waters is my congresswoman, and I saw her sample ballot that came in the mail, and I saw Becerra is the person that she's endorsing, and I was like, I feel like that probably puts him at least up to number 3 or 2 for me, right? It'll bump him up there, right?
Auntie Maxine is the bump for you.
It bumps him up, but it don't make him number 1 for me, right? Because I'm like, I'm probably going to be left of our good Maxine Waters, right? Our representative that we love.
Well, and I try to compare all those sample ballots. That's why I say go look at Courage California, look at Knock LA, look at several lawmakers.
I'm looking at Stonewall Democrats. I'm looking at the party. I'm looking at various different places to see like what are the different people saying. And I'm like, if too much of the Democratic establishment is supporting this candidate, they probably not going to be left enough for the things that I want to see done. So
and to that, then Butch Ware. I mean, he's probably the furthest left there. But again, he's not. He's a write-in.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? And the question is, do you want to give any ground to an oath keeper, a current sheriff who's running? Do you want to give any ground to the Trump endorsed?
Steve Hilton.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's a Fox host, and Trump has officially endorsed him. Trump has unofficially endorsed Spencer Pratt. Yesterday, he said he hopes he does well.
Yeah, when I was watching the debate, it was the first time I'd heard some of these people talking, right, outside of like seeing them in ads and things like that, because there are plenty of ads. And I was looking at the Republicans, and he was talking about being sheriff for 30 years. And the way that he was talking, I was like, I already know this is a no for me, right? Like the way that he was talking about it. But I thought that they were effective at messaging, right? They always are effective at messaging and being able to talk to the problems that people are experiencing and always being able to speak to change in this country and the way that we want to see things move. And I was like, I know this is going to be effective for some people. Yeah. And that's scary to me because I know that it's going to connect with people in a way that it's going to shift them to say like, oh, maybe I should listen to this guy because and then you find out he's an oath keeper. Right. Or then you find out more things about their backgrounds and the things that they support or the ways that they show up. Because if you watch the whole debate, like maybe 2/3 into the debate, things start to really fracture a little bit. And you're like, oh, see, that's what I was expecting from you. And so it's an interesting dynamic being in California where we've had so many of these elections with such crowded fields.
Yeah. Brenda Murray says she got a letter from the voter registration, the registrar's office saying she had moved to New Mexico and wouldn't be able vote here. She said she's never been to New Mexico, and she had to re-register. She said she thinks Trump had Elon Musk do things to our records. Ain't no telling, but it is a good idea to check. Here in California, you can even register on the day of. So that's not a good reason not to vote.
That is actually disturbing to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes me think immediately when she says Elon Musk, I think about Doge and the way that Doge went and got all of Americans' data and information and addresses and phone numbers and social security numbers and all those things. And I'm like, what did they do with that information?
They still have it. I called it the Department of Grifters for Elon.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because, now he's got a huge competitive advantage over everybody because he has all the data.
Yeah.
Now he's out.
He's got all the data. He's got all of our information in ways that one is not that has no oversight, right? But also is not protected by anything. I think one of the things I often think about with my generation, particularly as millennials, is we have let go of any illusion of privacy.
Yeah.
Right. We have clicked agree so many times to things that we do not read, right? And when I say we, I don't mean millennials, I mean all of us,
yes,
right? But this generation saw that transition happen, and it's agree, accept cookies, reject cookies, all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have any illusion that we have privacy, but when something like Doge happens and they take all of our data and all of our information and just do what with it? It makes a lot of sense that a person comes and when they see that their registration has been changed to a place they've never even visited, right? It makes you ask a question of what are they doing with that information? I get why she would ask that question.
Jarrett Hill is my guest. He is a journalist, he is an artist, and he's a podcaster now. Yes. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
What did I miss? What did I miss? Let's go. Let's go. I'm whipping around on 600 acres. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You just better not ask for no favor. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's love for my brothers in debt to a trader. Let's go. She might decide to say no to me now, but say yes to me later. Let's go. Is all natty like Florida Gator. Let's go. You switch on the guys and support it.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Make my day. Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like nuclear reactor safety expert.
I disabled the backup cooling system. It was making such an annoying noise. You heard it, right? It was like,
we're on the countdown to core failure.
And you're saying we don't want that?
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job
Lena
today.
Bloom for the Bail Project.
Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do you do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580, with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box, live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. cause. Until now, Dr. Pacoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
A helping hand to your fellow man.
Aye. What? Look. What they talking about? They ain't talking about none. What they talking about? They ain't talking about none. What they talking about? They ain't talking about none. What they talking about? They ain't talking about none. Huh? They ain't talking about none.
Andy's gone crazy. Is that Andy on the mic? Oh, yeah. He dedicated it to all the politicians. Hey. Jarrett Hill is with me. Jarrett, when and how can we find your podcast?
Yes, my podcast is on YouTube. If you go to @JarrettHill on YouTube, we're doing live every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. We're having a live conversation. It's coming through this brand that I have called Troublemaking, which is TRBLMKNG. @Troublemaking is on YouTube as well. But like, we do these conversations because we are interested in having talks about the revolution and like how we can see things differently, and we're taking that from a pop culture and a politics perspective. We're looking at like one of the episodes that we just did was around gender and sexuality, right? This week we talked with Black queer men about relationships with Black queer men. A couple of weeks ago we were talking about the straight relationships that we were seeing, but then we're also having conversations around labor. We're having conversations around this administration and the ways that we see and how resistance looks in this moment. You've been on to talk about that. So the Jarrett Hill Show, we're doing 12 episodes in the spring and 12 episodes in the fall. That is what works for my mental health, to be able to give you guys half of the year. We're doing 24 episodes each year now, and I'm excited to be able to have a space to bring in the voices that I want to be talking to about the different kinds of issues that we're seeing, it, whether they be really serious, heavy issues that we've got to deal with, and sometimes the light things that are part of our everyday lives and part of how we're getting through this moment.
Okay, we don't have too much time. It's crazy time around here, but I've been really upset about this Department of Justice fund. They're calling it, weaponization fund. Elie Mystal called it white grievance reparations. Mm-hmm. What do you make of this? I mean, the Department of Justice basically handing a $1.8 million check to the president.
Yeah, I think about this as one of the moments that they are showing us they can do whatever they want to do. Right? They're showing us that they can do whatever it is that they want to do, however they want to do it. Right? And what you gonna do? It's a very Sheree Whitfield. Who gonna check me?
Yeah.
Right? The Supreme Court? No. The IRS? No. The people? Maybe. Right? I was talking with Dr. Charles Davis about this, and I was like, I feel like we've heard people say like revolution is going to require people to break the law, right? And I'm like, and I'm not here to tell people to break the law. Like, we're not in that moment. We're not in that moment. We're not in that moment. I'm not saying that. But this is one of those moments that as I'm reading and listening to people, I'm hearing this phrase about becoming ungovernable, right? Mm-hmm. And like, I don't even know that I'm telling you that right now, but I'm not telling you that either. Right. Like, this is a moment when we've got to start thinking about like, how do we respond to this? Because things are moving quickly, as we talked about in the last segment. Like, all of these things are happening in concert with one another, and it is not by accident. It is intentional, and it is not something that is I think it's not useful, and I do this a lot, like calling them stupid. right?
Yeah, no, that's not useful at all.
It's not useful because it makes the things that they're doing seem random or erratic. It may be erratic, right? But random and non-directional, maybe, right? Unmoored. But like they are doing a thing, right? And that thing that they are doing is making this a white supremacist nation that is focused on whiteness, right? And to be clear, to make it a more white supremacist nation.
Right. I mean,
right?
We're importing another 10,000 white South Africans while not letting anyone else have refuge, even though the first couple thousand, a lot of them want to go home already because they realize it's not the wonderland they thought it was over here.
I didn't plan on saying this, but I'm often thinking about what we're fighting for. And when I say we, I mean we, us, black folks, I mean brown folks, I mean all of the different groups of folks that are marginalized in this country. And I'm really, really struggling with the image of our ancestors at the lunch counters. And the boycotts and the protests and the let us in. And then like they finally got in and ate the food. And they were like, this is trash. Like, what is this turkey sandwich? Like, whatever it is, right? And I feel like it's such a metaphor for America.
Right.
Like, I was abroad and having that feeling like, why am I going back? Like, and thinking to myself like, oh, I want to go back and fight for my country and fight for my people and fight for the communities that are really important to me. And like the fight part of me is like looking at that picture of them at the lunch counter and thinking like the thing that we're fighting for in many ways is wonderful and in many ways is trash sometimes. And so I'm like, I'm having that push and pull with myself all the time.
Right. Are we fighting for potato salad with raisins? Basically.
Girl, let me go. I can't even do it. Like, what are we talking about?
But yet you're energized. So 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Give me your energy. Where's your energized viewpoint coming from?
To be honest with you, I find myself frustrated that we are letting it go to this guy. We are letting this country, the things that we have fought for, the things that we have built, the things that our ancestors have fought and bled and died and strategized and organized and cooked dinners and stood up for. Like, we are letting it go to this man for this. Like, I would cuss if I was on the podcast, right? But like, we are letting it go to these folks, like, to do this. Like, I'm energized about that. Like, what is if it was going to go to somebody, right? Like, if we were going to let somebody take it, the idea that it's going to these people is actually what's really been pissing me off lately is like, they are so whack, right?
Yeah.
They don't bring anything to the table that is really useful or interesting or new or creative or generative or any of that. And so that's where I am. I'm like, I'm frustrated about that.
Jarrett Hill, Jarrett Hill on YouTube. We got to go. News, traffic, and sports. And then we will be hearing from one of our civil rights commissioners. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The Chicago City Council is coming off a busy meeting. Republican gubernatorial candidate Darren Bailey made a surprise appearance and apologized for calling Chicago a hellhole.
I owe you an apology. I said some things about Chicago that were wrong. What I meant was that the political class is failing us.
Alders also passed a measure honoring Jesse Jackson that expands voting protections and strengthens access to the ballot. The Baltimore County Board of Education is holding virtual hearings as it searches for a new superintendent. Staff can speak starting at 4:30 p.m., followed by a community session at 6:30 p.m. Comments are limited to 3 minutes as the district prepares to replace Black Superintendent Miriam Rogers in July. And Las Vegas officials have approved Flavor Flav's plan for a She Weekend celebration honoring women athletes. The multi-day event in July will spotlight elite competitors. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Head to Waba Grill for $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. and try our new Chili Crisp dumplings paired with a premium beverage drink like our new Strawberry Watermelon Lemonade Energy Refresher. Both for just $5 only at Waba Grill.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Several HBCU football teams will get a significant financial boost from playing games in 2026 against teams in the Power Four conferences. HBCU teams will earn a combined $6.9 million from 15 games against teams from the Big Ten, SEC, ACC, and the Big 12. Florida A&M will get the largest single-game payout this season from gate revenues when they play at Miami on September 10th. Miami, a member of the ACC, agreed to give Florida A&M $740,000 when the teams meet up at Hard Rock Stadium. The athletic budget at Howard University will also get a nice cash deposit. Indiana, the defending national champions, agreed to pay Howard $525,000 when they host HU on September 12th in Bloomington. Howard will get $475,000 from their game at Rutgers, a member of the Big Ten, on September 26th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580, your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive.
Let's be real. For too long, too many of our students have sat in overcrowded classrooms in underfunded public schools.
But as head of the San Diego School Board, Richard Barrera changed that.
Under Barrera's leadership, student literacy rose from the state average all the way to #1 among major urban school districts. Barrera led the way for smaller classrooms and for teachers to be paid what they're worth.
Barrera funded more counselors and mental health services, and community schools that teach real-world skills for future jobs.
A community organizer who became an education leader to fight for our kids. The only candidate for State Superintendent of Public Instruction.
Backed by the 310,000 classroom educators of the California Teachers Association. Vote Democrat Richard Barrera for State Superintendent.
Ad paid for by California Teachers Association Independent Expenditure Committee. Not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
Hi, I'm Fred Martin, founder of Compton Kids Club. I just want to talk about the authenticity and tell y'all about my homeboy, Tom Steyer. Tom is a rock star. When I met him, Tom gave a grant to schools in San Francisco. All the kids were on probation. And we were flying instructors for 2 years to come and help those kids doing performing arts and turning their life around. Some of the kids that he supported, they've graduated from UCLA. Let's fast forward. Tom is in schools in Compton, hanging out with the kids in the piano classes. Brother Tom Steyer hangs out in the studio with us. These are the seeds that he's planted. This has nothing to do with elections. What's coming out of his mouth is not a campaign speech. It's authentic, and when he say he walks away from a business because he want to do his values, he ain't making that up because he's running for governor. This man is real.
Ad paid for by Steyer for Governor 2026.
The joint will be jumping. Ebony Repertory Theater, in association with Fig Street Films, brings you one of the most beloved musicals of all time. Tony Award winner, Ain't Misbehavin'. The soulful, swinging celebration of the music of Fats Waller. From the rollicking to the romantic, this show is pure magic, full of the songs that defined an era and the voices that'll make you forget everything else for a night. Foot stomping, heart stirring, unforgettable. Don't miss Ain't Misbehavin' at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center, starring Lettucey, directed by Ren T. Brown. This is the night out you've been waiting for. Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. Grab yours now at ebonyrep.org or call the box office today at 323-964-9766. Ebony Repertory Theater, bringing the culture, keeping the legacy alive.
Ain't Misbehavin' runs May 21st through June 8th at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Okay, Van. So much is going on around here today, and buckle your seatbelt, because it's about to be like this until at least June 3rd, okay? I'll make it June 5th, because I'm about to have a birthday. It's Gemini season. Okay, we got Sherry on the phone. I'm squeezed Sherry in really quick here, because she's been so patient. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. What's on your mind this fine day?
Well, I just wanted to say, between the governor's race, Becerra and Steyer, they're both, Becerra is polling ahead of Steyer, but because I think that they were calling and asking people who they're going to vote for, a lot of the Hispanics aren't going to be able to vote, and I think they're even going to be scared to go to vote. So, of course, they said Becerra, but I really think we should go with Steyer.
Okay, Sherry, I got your opinion. I appreciate it. I hope you'll call me another time when we have more time to talk, because I would love to explore your thinking on some of these things. I assume you're saying that some Latinos won't want to vote because of the ICE presence, and they're talking about having ICE people at the polls. They could always mail in their ballots, though. But, yeah, I got you. I appreciate your thoughts on that. At least somebody has made up their mind about this governor's race, and certainly that's a good thing, because we got to vote. That's the most important thing.
All right, and I will be calling back. Thank you.
Please do, Sherry. I would welcome you. I would welcome you back. Right now, though, we're welcoming in an LA City Civil Rights Commissioner. He's spent decades helping shape LA across entertainment, education, civil rights, and philanthropy. But one of the big things that he does is get people ready to serve as well, similar to how he has served. Virgil Roberts, welcome.
Well, good morning to you, and thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Certainly, congratulations are in order. I know you are being honored at the African American Board Leadership Institute's dinner tonight, tribute dinner tonight. It's their 15th annual, and you are one of their honorees. So congratulations on that honor.
Well, thank you very much. And, it's I'm humbled and excited about being honored.
You have a seemingly glamorous job. I mean, you're an entertainment attorney with a big firm. You got glamorous clients like Ye and Usher and Chaka Khan and people like that, MTV. So why would you say, let me spend some time with the Civil Rights Commission? Let me spend some time with the African American Board Leadership Institute. I could be, backstage with Usher, but I think I'll do this instead.
Well, it's really a simple answer. It's the converse. I think the most important thing for all of us to do, especially those of us who are Black Americans, is really to keep pressing for full involvement in society at all levels. And the work I do helps pay the bills and pay my rent so I can pursue my passion. My passion really is to work in the community. So it's the other way around. I don't look at missing the opportunity to hang out with my friend, Usher and stuff. What I look at is the work that I do in the entertainment business, which full of progressive people, allows me to make money to pay the bills so I can spend my time and my passion, which is to try and improve the quality of life for Black folks in America.
That's amazing. It's wild, though. Graduated from UCLA, graduated from Harvard Law School, representing people like Babyface and Usher, but in his, for fun, he does civil rights. Gotta love that. So explain to me, what is the African American Board Leadership Institute? Because I do think they call it ABLE, that many of us don't track that organization.
Well, the African American Board Leadership Institute, I co-founded with a woman who's a dear friend, Yvette Chappelle, 15 years ago, and it grew out of my own personal experience. What I began to realize as I did more and more work in the community, and I started to focus on nonprofit organizations, because the venture capital money for social change is in philanthropy. If you want to do you have an idea about how to do education differently, where do you go get the money to do it? Well, you're not going to get the money from existing institutions. If you have the idea about doing child care differently, where do you get the money? Well, you get the money from philanthropists. You don't have to go to Congress. You don't have to go to state legislature. You just have a group of people who are sitting around in a room. It may be 7, it may be 8, it may be 18. And you just convince that group, hey, I have an idea for doing things differently. And if you get an agreement, then all of a sudden you have the capital to do something differently. So what I discovered years ago is that there were not nearly enough folks that had lived the Black experience in the rooms where those decisions are made. The decisions about who funds Brotherhood Crusade, who funds, Community Bill, who funds the organizations that do work in our community. The boardrooms are not full of Black people. They're full of people of other persuasions. So the African American Board Leadership Institute was created to try and identify talented Black executives, talented Black folks who wanted to give back give back to the community, equip them with the skills and knowledge they need to be effective in boardrooms, and then to work with commissions and nonprofit organizations and for-profit organizations to try and get more Black voices in the room where decisions are made. That's the sole goal of ABLE. So it was not designed to be a mass marketed organization like an NAACP. It was designed to be more of a strategic organization that would really teach leadership to folks, and then hopefully what they would do is use those skills they've gained to go out and get involved in boards and commissions. And over the last 15 years, we probably have trained over 1,000 Black folks, and I think currently about 400 of them are serving on various governing boards across the country. We've had people from our programs from as far away as Kenya and Canada, the South and stuff, seeking to get that training to make them effective board members.
Yeah, that's powerful. I mean, if you're not in the room, who's going to represent us? We're talking with attorney Virgil Roberts, Commissioner Virgil Roberts, and the organization, if you want to check it out yourself, it's aabli.org, aabli.org. We'll continue the conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Let me tell you something about Los Angeles. This city doesn't have small problems, so it damn sure doesn't need small, weak leadership. That's why I support Karen Bass. She walked into a system that was slow, broken, and reluctant to change. She cut through red tape and started moving people off the streets into housing. She created the Office of Community Safety to make our neighborhoods safer, supported wage increases for many underpaid workers, expanded contract opportunities for small minority business, and signed an executive order to give formerly incarcerated people a second chance. Karen Bass is about real change. I'm Samuel L. Jackson, and I've seen a lot of people talk tough. Karen Bass is tough. That's why I'm voting for Karen Bass, and you should too. So vote today. You received your ballot in the mail by now. You don't even have to go to the polls. Just fill out your ballot and hand it to your postal worker. No stamp needed.
Paid for by Re-elect Karen Bass for Mayor 2026, 445 South Figueroa Street, Suite 2400, Los Angeles, California, 90071. Funding details at ethics.lacity.gov.
Going to a World Cup match in LA this summer? Ditch the parking stress and ride Metro. With direct service from across LA County, it's the easy way to get there for just $1.75 each way.
We don't do ordinary. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's be real. For too long, too many of our students have sat in overcrowded classrooms in underfunded public schools.
But as head of the San Diego School Board, Richard Barrera changed that.
Under Barrera's leadership, student literacy rose from the state average all the way to #1 among major urban school districts. Barrera led the way for smaller classrooms and for teachers to be paid what they're worth.
Barrera funded more counselors and mental health services, and community schools that teach real-world skills for future jobs.
A community organizer who became an education leader to fight for our kids. The only candidate for state superintendent of public instruction,
backed by the 310,000 classroom educators of the California Teachers Association. Vote Democrat Richard Barrera for state superintendent.
Ad paid for by California Teachers Association Independent Expenditure Committee, not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
My name is Cynthia Mitchell. I've been an emergency room nurse in Los Angeles County for 25 years. I've been there through every fire season, every outbreak, every earthquake. Every time Los Angeles needed us, the doctors and nurses of Los Angeles County showed up. And right now, I'm seeing another disaster coming. Trump's cuts to Los Angeles County's healthcare system are a public health crisis in the making. Medi-Cal, public hospitals, disaster preparedness are all at risk, but we can stop it. Measure ER fights back against these cuts. For a half a penny, we keep emergency rooms open, care within reach for working families, and doctors and nurses serving the communities we love. When you vote yes on Measure ER, you're not just voting for healthcare, you're voting for LA. Vote yes on Measure ER by June 2nd.
Ad paid for by Yes on ER, Restore Healthcare for Angelenos, sponsored by St. John's Community Health and Health Justice Action Fund. Ad committee top funder, St. John's Community Health.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Before forming his entertainment law firm, Bobbitt and Roberts, he was president and general counsel of Solar Records. He's been involved with community and legal profession his whole career. Right now, he's chairman of the board of Broadway Federal Bank, trustee or of the board of directors of the James Irvine Foundation, Families in Schools, Southern California Public Radio, the Fedco Foundation Community Build, and the Alliance for College-Ready Public Schools. He's also an LA Civil Rights Commissioner. And he pretty much embodies the concept, if you want something done, ask a busy person. Commissioner Virgil Roberts, I left out that you helped UCLA build their African American Studies program, which was one of the first ever. And, I imagine all of these different arenas that you've worked in, you've been on boards, you've had your own law firm, you've, done civil rights work. It must be a strange moment for you to watch the it's not illegal. It's not I don't want to say the outlawing, but the executive orders frowning on DEI, the sort of attacks on anything that seems designed to help Black people, to help African Americans. In fact, ABLE, which you've co-founded, African American Board Leadership Institute, appears to be exactly the type of organization that could come under fire in this current administration. How do you see where we are now?
Well, the way I look at current things is to look at history. We're really in sort of a post-Reconstruction era. I'm one that believes history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. And there has always been in this country a fundamental core of people who are basically white supremacists. That's why we had the civil rights, the Civil War, and so there's a constant struggle between those of us who believe in a multiracial democracy and those people who believe that there should be white rulers of the world. Now that's not unique for Black folks. We lived through Jim Crow. We got to America 4 centuries ago in 1619, and we didn't get the full right to participate and vote until the Voting Rights Act was passed in 1965. So from 1619 until 1965, we lived under an oppressive system of apartheid. And there always have been peaks and valleys. You know, if you study history, you'll know that right after the Civil War, for the first time, there were a number of blacks who were elected to the Senate. They were able to create schools. The freed slaves created over 100 HBCUs that still exist today. And yet there was the reaction of the Ku Klux Klan, the black codes, the denial of voting rights, and we had to continue to fight even after the Civil Rights Movement until we got the voting rights. What we're seeing now is kind of that cyclical reaction of conservative white nationalists to the progress of colored people in America. And so I think that now is a time when more than ever we need to be vigilant. We need to be active. Everybody that is a person of color needs to vote. They need to understand that we have to strengthen the organizations in our communities that really are the bedrock of democracy. It's local organizations, it's local nonprofits, it's local churches. All of those organizations need to be strengthened because they really are the bulwark against autocracy. And we're in a fight, and it's a very serious fight. I was listening to somebody a few weeks ago who was saying, well, you know, in the 1960s, over 80% of the people in America were white. Today, that percentage of people who are white is down to about 57%. And so there is a reaction that's taking place in the most conservative parts of white America to say, we need to stop this because in another 20 years, the majority of people in America will be people of color. And that's what's led to this idea of we need to deport 100 million people. And the things that are happening are designed to try and turn the clock back. I think you can't turn the clock back. I hope that we're able to resist and overthrow the forces of white nationalism without there being another civil war. But, you know, I've often said that this time is a time when we need to look back in our history. I think Abraham Lincoln in his Gettysburg Address said it perfectly when he said, you know, our forefathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, among those being the right to the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. Now we are engaged in this great civil war to determine whether this nation or any nation so conceived can long endure. This is the oldest multiracial democracy in the history of the world. We're coming up on our 250-year anniversary as a country. And when you look at the history, there's been a steady progress of expanding rights, expanding the ability of people to participate in society. And we now have in the head of our administration a group of people who are trying to reverse what has been the moral arc of the universe in America for 250 years. We have to oppose it in every battlefield that we can.
I mean, we could talk about this for an hour, but just a quick snapshot with your attorney hat on. With the gutting of the Voting Rights Act, is that possible? It kind of feels insurmountable.
Well, the answer is two things. One, the gutting of the Voting Rights Act, it may, in some respects, create opportunity. You know, I always think that you have to look at both sides of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that the Southerners had done over the years to gerrymander districts is they would round up all the black folks. Let's say like in South Carolina. South Carolina is 30% black. They put all the black folks in one district, basically, that Jim Clyburn represents. If you break up the black folks and spread them around in other districts, the people who are doing it may not get what they want, because all of a sudden you may have enough black folks in different districts so that somebody can come along who is not a right-wing Republican and win, because let's say all of a sudden a district that used to be 100% white is now going to be 20% black. Well, if you get the 20% blacks voting for another candidate, you only need to get 30% of the whites. Whereas in a current situation, you'd have to have at least 50% plus one of the whites vote against the conservative candidate. But there may be 25 or 30% of whites who don't like that candidate, but they can't win because there's nobody else for them to ally with. So, one of the things I would say is people should be careful for what they wish for, because the chickens may come home to roost. You may say, we're going to break up black districts, but what you're also doing is you're spraying around black folks to who can still vote, and they may vote for candidates that are not the Republican candidate. And that's why I say it is so important for us to be informed and not to give up on voting, but to look at the opportunities that may exist to sort of turn the worm, if you will.
So well said. So well said. We have to leave it there. Attorney Virgil Roberts, congratulations to you on your Ably Award. If you guys want to go, there might be some tickets left. You can go to aabli.org. It's at the Skirball Cultural Center. It is tonight. You may be able to purchase a ticket. Congratulations, and thank you once again for joining us.
Well, Dominic, thank you, and thank you for the work that you do in our community. You really help keep people informed, and I appreciate you.
Oh, thanks. That's much appreciated. Tavis Smiley does the same. He's up next, and guess who he's got on today? He's got Javier Becerra, who's running for governor, so you do not want to miss that. All y'all confused ones out there. Put myself in that category, too. Like my father, the late, great Amiri Baraka, used to say, a person is either free or they are not free. There can be no apprenticeship for freedom. And I shall see you on social media at KBLA 1580, or find me at DiPrima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The Chicago City Council is coming off a busy meeting. Republican gubernatorial candidate Darren Bailey made a surprise appearance and apologized for calling Chicago a hellhole.
I owe you an apology. I said some things about Chicago that were wrong. What I meant was that the political class is failing us.
Alders also passed a measure honoring Jesse Jackson that expands voting protections and strengthens access to the ballot. The Baltimore County Board of Education is holding virtual hearings as it searches